Legacy was a lakeside cabin in Lake Tahoe. I bought that cabin 6 months ago, paid for it with money I'd scraped together over 35 years. That's when my daughter Elena called.
Dad, let my husband Ryan lend you the rest. It's family. Family, that word hit different back then. Family helps family.
We can set up easy terms. I balked, and it was family, so I said yes.
On the 5th, Elena called. Her tone was clipped, like a business call. Dad, Ryan's family, they're staying at your cabin. I froze, coffee mug halfway to my lips. Stay, they'll take the main house. You can use the guest shed out back. The old owners used it for storage. They'll arrive Sunday. She hung up. I sat there, staring at the lake, which suddenly looked cold and unforgiving. Ryan's family rolled in Sunday noon in a gleaming Range Rover. No knock, they had a key. How I heard the door swing open, voices echoing. I stepped out of the shed. "Oh, you're here," they said, not hello, not thanks. Just like I was staff. Howard glanced around. Cozy, but we'll update it? By evening, my cabin wasn't mine. My name is Jack Reynolds. I'm 70 years old. I live in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. I spent over 4 decades as a mechanic, fixing engines and transmissions until my hands were calloused maps of grease and scars. I'm here to tell my story because, like so many dads out there, I busted my back to give my daughter everything I never had. But in the end, she turned on me. It took me 70 years to learn that a man's legacy isn't just what he leaves behind, it's what he fights to keep. My legacy was a small lakeside cabin in Lake Tahoe. Cedar siding, a stone fireplace, a dock that jutted out into the crystal water where I could fish at dawn. I'd drive past it for years on my way to the shop, watching the morning mist rise off the lake, imagining retiring there with the rod in hand, no alarm clock screaming at 5 a.m., no boss barking orders. No more crawling under trucks with my knees grinding like rusted gears. I bought that cabin 6 months ago, paid for it with money I'd scraped together over 35 years. Every overtime shift at the auto shop, every holiday I worked when the family begged me to stay home, every side gig fixing neighbors' cars in my driveway until midnight. $350,000 that cabin cost. I had $298,000 in my old savings account at the credit union. I was short $52,000. I'd raised Elena alone since she was 7, after her mom, Sarah, passed from cancer. Chemo drained us dry, and the hospital bills kept coming like waves that never stopped. The life insurance was supposed to be $500,000. Sarah's doctor pulled me aside at the funeral, hand on my arm, saying, "Jack, this policy will see you and the girl through." But I never got a cent. The company claimed paperwork issues, that Sarah had signed something redirecting it to a trust for Elena. I was 42, heartbroken, working doubles just to keep the roof over our heads. I didn't fight it, didn't have the strength or the cash for lawyers. I just believed that's how it went when you were blue collar and buried in grief. So, I worked. Lord, did I work. 12-hour days at the shop, then I'd come home, grab 4 hours of shut-eye, and head out for night jobs at the truck stop, changing tires on semis until dawn. Weekends, I'd take on private repairs, engines, brakes, whatever paid. My hands were always black with oil, even after scrubbing. My boots fell apart every 6 months from the miles I paced in that garage. Every paycheck, I'd deposit most of it straight into savings. Kept enough for rent, food, Elena's clothes, and school trips. Some weeks, 40 went in. Others, after a big fleet job, 700. I watched that balance climb like I was building a ladder out of hell. 12,000, 28,000, 65,000. Each jump felt like breathing fresh air. Elena went to state college, business major. I beamed when she graduated, helped with tuition so she wouldn't start buried in debt. She landed a marketing job, married Ryan. He came from old money, the kind that multiplies in bank accounts without lifting a finger. I kept grinding, kept saving. Even after Elena didn't need my help, even after she bought her fancy SUV and started vacationing in Europe, I kept pulling those all-nighters. Kept depositing because I had a dream, a cedar cabin by the lake, with a dock and silence broken only by lapping water. When I hit 298,000, I called Elena, voice cracking with joy. "Sweetheart, I'm buying my cabin." She sounded thrilled. "Dad, you earned this. You've sacrificed so much." But I was short. "Let Ryan lend it," she said. "He's got it. Family helps family. We can set up easy terms." I balked. I hated debt, but it was my dream, and it was family, so I said yes. Closing took a month. I signed in a stuffy office smelling of coffee and ink. Got the keys, drove straight there, sat on the dock as the sun dipped behind the pines, and wept. 43 years of sweat, and it was mine. I moved in on a Friday. Elena and Ryan helped unpack, or Ryan supervised while Elena arranged. I didn't care, I was on cloud nine. Unpacked my tools, Sarah's old photo albums, my fishing gear. Hung a hammock by the water. That first night, I grilled trout I'd caught, ate alone with the stars reflecting on the lake, and thought, this is peace. This is what I built. I had 4 days of it. 4 glorious days of coffee on the dock at sunrise, hikes in the woods, naps in the hammock. On the 5th, Elena called. Her tone was clipped, like a business call. "Dad, Ryan's parents are dealing with some health stuff. They need a quiet spot to recover. They're staying at your cabin." I froze, coffee mug halfway to my lips. "Stay for how long?" "A couple months, maybe more." "Look, Ryan lent you that money, so we've got rights. They'll take the main house. You can use the guest shed out back." The guest shed, a 120 square foot shack with a cot and a tiny stove, no real plumbing. The old owners used it for storage. "Elena, this is temporary, right Dad? Don't overreact. They'll arrive Sunday." She hung up. I sat there, staring at the lake, which suddenly looked cold and unforgiving. Ryan's family rolled in Sunday noon in a gleaming Range Rover. His mom, Vivian, in designer shades, Dad, Howard, with a golf bag, sister, Brooke, and her poodle, Max. No knock, they had a key. How? I heard the door swing open, voices echoing, loud, entitled, like they were checking into a resort. A van followed, unloading luxury stuff, leather couches, modern lamps, abstract sculptures. I stepped out of the shed. "Oh, you're here," Vivian said, not hello, not thanks. Just like I was staff. Howard glanced around. "Cozy, but we'll update it. Too rustic." Brooke measured walls for new drapes while Max yapped and scratched the floors. By evening, my cabin wasn't mine. Their leather sectional dwarfed my old recliner, now shoved in the shed. Sarah's quilt was folded away like junk. My fishing trophies sat in boxes. I retreated to the shed, sat on the cot, stared at the single bulb swinging overhead. At dusk, Vivian rapped on the door. "We'll need dinner at 7. light fare salmon, quinoa, fresh greens. No carbs. I didn't have that. My pantry was beans, pasta, canned soup. But I drove 15 miles to the store, spent 58 on their organic demands. Next morning, I rose at 5, cooked as ordered, served on the deck overlooking my lake. Vivian sipped her herbal tea, frowned. Too salty. Remake it with less seasoning. Ryan called later, Dad, be accommodating. This is family. Family. Days melted into a blur. Wake at dawn, cook breakfast, clean, lunch, clean, dinner, clean. Wash their silk shirts by hand because the washer ruined them. My knuckles bled from the soap. No thanks, no notice. Vivian filmed wellness videos on the dock, my dock, talking about our serene retreat to her followers. I appeared in the background once, carrying firewood. She edited me out. 4 weeks in, Howard hosted a barbecue. Told me Tuesday, party Saturday. 10 guests, influential folks for Ryan's business network. Menu, filet mignon, lobster tails, artisanal salads, truffle fries, chocolate lava cake. Cost me $412 from specialty shops, money from my slim pension. I grilled for hours, back screaming, smoke stinging my eyes. Served silently. A guest asked, who catered? I handled it, Vivian beamed. Not Jack cooked. Just her. I froze, tray in hand. Howard added, Jack assists around here. But Vivian planned it all. Guests cooed. One woman said, your retreat is stunning. Later, over wine, someone asked about the old guy serving. Howard chuckled. Elena's dad. Charity case. Never saved properly, lived hand to mouth. No smarts for money. We're helping him out. Pitying nods. So generous. Vivian, family duty. He struggled his whole life, financially illiterate. When he needed shelter, we stepped in. Shelter in my cabin, I overheard from the kitchen, gripping the counter until my scarred hands whitened. That night, I called my nephew, Tom. We weren't tied holiday cards, occasional calls, but he was a paralegal. Tom, I need a lawyer. Complicated mess. Pause. What kind theft? Family theft. He set me up with Harold Klein, 75, specialist in fraud and elder rights. That night, I dug through old boxes in the shed. Found Sarah's papers, death certificate, hospital bills. At the bottom, a sealed envelope. Inside, a copy of a $500,000 check to Elena Reynolds, dated 2009. Elena was 19. Other docs, a waiver signed by me, relinquishing rights. Forged. The signature was off, the J looped wrong, the R too sharp. Elena had stolen it. Not a trust mix-up, outright theft. Forged my name, took what Sarah died leaving us. Money that could have eased my grind, let me be home more. Instead, I'd wrecked my body while she lived easy. Hands trembling, I called Tom back. Need that meeting now. Harold was sharp, white hair, eyes like steel. This is fraud, Jack. Statute 6 years from discovery in Nevada. You just found it, we can nail M. Do I want her in prison? He nodded. Could be 5 to 12 years. Husband too. I pictured Elena at 7, clinging to me at Sarah's grave. At 19, maybe manipulated. Now 38, letting her in-laws treat me like dirt. I want my cabin back. My money. Them out. If prison's the path, so be it. Plan, evidence first. Harold posed as a fishing buddy, visited, planted hidden. Cams in lamps, bookshelves, vents. Voice activated, cloud upload. Act normal, he said. Compliant. Let M slip. I did. Served, cleaned, smiled through gritted teeth. Searched Vivian's room one night, found a voluntary deed transfer doc, forged signature, dated weeks ahead. Photographed it. Cams caught gold, Howard on phone, cabin's worth $700K now. List soon. Vivian, if he won't sign, forge like Elena said. He's broke, no fight. Brooke, where's he go? Vivian, nursing home for paupers. Who cares? Elena arrived Friday to oversee signing. Ryan with her. They sat me down. Dad, this cabin's too much for you alone. Ryan's family manages it. Transfer to Vivian formality. I stared. You're stealing my home. Gratitude, Dad. Ryan's loan obligates you. Heart pounding, I waited. Confrontation Monday. Notary arrived, slick suit. Papers out. Sign here, initial there. Doorbell. Harold and his partner, Lisa, briefcases in hand. Jack's counsel. Chaos. Harold laid it out, forged insurance docs, expert analysis, witness statements from old insurance reps, then the laptop, recordings of their plots, admissions. Notary bolded. Options, prison, fraud 5 to 12, abuse 2 to 5. Or repay $500K plus interest, $820K in 6 months. Renounce inheritance, leave now, no contact. Vivian tried bribing. Harold, recorded. Add charges, they chose payback. Signed shaking. Packed, left by dusk. Elena last out. Sorry, Dad. For getting caught, I said. She flinched, drove off. I reclaimed my cabin. New locks, my furniture back, garden tended. Invested wisely, donated to cancer funds in Sarah's name. Made friends, neighbors, Harold, a widow named Clara who fishes with me. Lived hikes, barbecues, quiet dawns. Elena paid on time. 7 months later, she returned alone. Broke, divorced, jobless. Ryan left when money vanished. I'm in a rental, waitressing. I was wrong, Dad. Ashamed of our roots, erased you to fit in. Tears. Can we try again? I saw Sarah in her eyes. Visit. Rebuild equal. One slip, done. She stayed days, helped fix the dock. Met Clara. Hugged goodbye. I love you. Love you too. Complicated, but real. 1 year on, a barbecue with my new family. Found Sarah's letter behind a shelf, my rock jack. Promise you'll chase your lake dream. You're worth more than sacrifices. Live now. I framed it. Cried, smiled. The lake sparkles different when it's yours. You, listening, if family's draining you, stand up. Age doesn't matter. Fight. You're worth it. Where are you from? Comment below. Like, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching Voices of Strength. Choose next on screen.